And for those watching the live stream, sorry that there was no commentary so far. The race has started with 4 laps into the race here at the Summer Trophy at Zandvoort Racetrack. Just inside the dunes at the Dutch West Coast, with Hamish Forrest leading Max van der Snel and Marcus Littlewood. Now Hamish Forrest has already got a 2.5 second lead over Van der Snel. Just half a second down on Van der Snel, it's Marcus Littlewood. And he is pushing, he is trying to attack. And let's see at the end of this lap whether he was successful with that. Littlewood starting third behind Forrest and Van der Snel after the rolling start here at Zandvoort. All cars in the top 11 are Radical SR3 XXR. There's some SR1s further down. They are in the Benelux Cup. And they have their own class of 4 cars, but they're also T-class cars in 5th overall with Stefan Petrovic and Mikael Bern, and in 12th position with Robin and Jerome Greenhall. And their I-class cars, James Pinkerton in 15th overall, Peter Gustafsson 17th overall. And the SR1s, the Benelux Cup, as said, is led by Sascha van Pat, who's now coming by the straight in his SR1, is leading that class. Miles Ragg is second now. Is he then still? No, Graham Hofmans. And there's a tricky thing there. Graham Hofmans does not have a properly working transponder aboard. The transmitter that they have aboard that gives a beep to the live timing system each time they come round here at start-finish line, but also on 2 other spots at the track where there's loops in the tarmac. And Graham Hofmann's transponder doesn't work, so the timekeeping guys here correct it each time he comes round, but that always takes a moment. Hamish Forrest now with setting quickest time of them all, again a 1:41.01, and now has a lead of over 3 seconds over still Max van der Snel and Marcus Littlewood. And these cars can slipstream, but the slipstream is not extremely strong. I think they're pretty sleek, pretty low to the ground. They do have an open cockpit, which normally stimulates slipstreaming, because the air through the cockpit slows you down a bit. But if there's less air, or the air in front of you is moving quicker because of slipstream, then it makes it easier for an open cockpit. There's the battle. Is it, for those who are watching live stream, not everybody is, because this commentary can also be heard at the Zandvoort racetrack for those perhaps the grandstand or mainly in the pit lane area. And it's this weekend is like a really easy-going weekend with many foreign teams. So it's a bit like a big camping site with teams having a good time, having a beer, having a barbecue, and racing in between. But the racing has been good this weekend here at the Summer Trophy. We've been giving commentary for 2 days. They've been racing for 3 days prior to this last day. and in general have been having a really good time. Yesterday we had lots of Caterhams from Portugal, from France, from the UK, and later today there'll be different races like the Mini 7 Racing Club from the UK, like the German DMV BMW 318 Ti Cup, 318 Ti Compact, E36 Compact, I think they are, the older version. And we've got the Alpine Elf Cup with a beautiful Alpine sports cars, the A110. But this is Radical, and this is Radical SR1 and SR3, Radical SR3 UK. And the battle between Max van der Snel and Marcus Littlewood is still underway. They're into turn 13 now. See them leave in the distance. And Hamish is already on the straight. And the other two guys will be following him. And that's them. Max van der Snel and Marcus Littlewood. And as you see, it's not easy to get closer in the slipstream. You need some overspeed through that last corner, which is not easy either, because basically that last corner, Arjen Luijendijk corner, the last banked corner of the track, is full throttle for everybody. So it's not like you can be much more technical or much more daring through that corner. There is different lines possible through that last bank corner, that Arjen Luijendijk corner, but it doesn't bring you much. There's also different lines possible through the other bank corner, the Hans Hugenholz corner. I'll point that out to you later. But there it's quite clear that the outside line is usually quickest. Now there's that battle again, and it seems like Marcus Littlewood is even closer than he was in the last lap. That next group, Leander, Stefan Petrovic or Michael Byrne. And then the third car, Rachel Robertson, who has been getting pretty good lap times. She was down a bit at the beginning of the race, but she's fairly close to the Petrovic-Bern car in front of her. Here we see the three. Leander at the front, Rachel Robertson at the back. No, she did pass Petrovic and Byrne, so it's in reversed order now. Frankly, we do get to see these cars probably once a year. Many of the drivers we don't know. There's sometimes Dutch drivers involved. There is a chance that we know them, but there's even bigger chance that we do not, because some of these Dutch would live in another country, race there, and we never get to see them, never get to meet them. But that especially applies to all the foreigners that are here and their cars in different liveries that we get to see only once a year. And maybe next year there's other teams, other drivers, other liveries, so the colors of cars that we do not directly recognize. We expect Hamish Forrest any moment to come by with 8 minutes of race to go. 10 laps completed. Hamish Forrest taking it easy this lap, doing a 1:42.474. Maybe he made a small mistake. Maybe he lost some time overtaking back markers, because that's what's happening at the moment. They're among the back markers, and that might cost them a little time. And I think that's Forrest in the picture now behind two back markers. Now in the SL1 class, we expect Graham Hofmans over the finish line any moment now. That's him, I think. And as soon as the guys, and they've already done that, corrected his passing with a transponder not properly working, then it's quite clear that he now has a 6-second advantage over Sascha van Pat, with Miles Regan third in the SR1 class and Eddie van Dam fourth. And Hamish, oh, there's a car stalled. That is Graham Hofmans. So the man that was leading the Benelux championship, or Benelux contingent in this race, and it'll then be Sascha van Pat leading the SR1 class. So the leader of the SR1 class out for sure. I'm not sure what happened. I didn't see him spin. Perhaps he did. And he's actually in a very dangerous spot coming out of Gerlach corner. Now, with the old track, with the old layout, with turn 3 not being a bank corner, the cars would go all the way to the outside, and then it was really dangerous. But now he parked his car halfway behind the wall at the end of the area coming out of Gerlach corner, number 2. So, Graham Hofmans, unfortunately, he's out. And that's our leader again, Hamish Forrest. Now, what kind of lead does he have left? 2.6 seconds. Behind them, they're slightly quicker. Is he taking it easy? Does he find that the 2.5 seconds advantage that he has is enough? Or are his tires troubling him? Has he gone too fast at the beginning of the race and is now paying the price for it?
Yeah, we hardly see any green figures in the sector times. Means that almost no one is improving the sector times there. So no big difference in lap times either. Hamish Forrest still 2.6 seconds ahead of Marcus Littlewood, with lap times of 1:48 for Forrest and 1:42 for Littlewood. That's at the moment in the advantage of Marcus Littlewood, who is faster, but still has to recover from 2.6 seconds. And to be able to do that in less than 3.5 minutes until the end of the race is quite difficult to do. But you never know with motor racing, of course. Yeah, the SR3s, the fastest cars here on the track. At least the first 11 cars are SR3 XXRs. Then one RSX, that's the one from Robin Greenall and Jerome Greenall, who always drive also in the VRM races like the Supercar Challenge, a Radical Cup. So they're really experienced with the car on the track here. But at the moment they are second in Class T. Ja, Littlewood die Van der Snel voorbij was gegaan. Maar dat was op het moment al gebeurd dat ik hier begon te praten. Wat we wel zien trouwens is dat straks Marcus Littlewood een klein beetje inliep op Hamish Forest. En nu Hamish Forest echt wel een 1:40.298 neerzet en uitloopt dus op Marcus Littlewood. It's Hamish Forest now who is faster than Marcus Littlewood. The number 95 car now is a lap time of 1:40.298 and Littlewood 1:41.294. So the difference between the two cars now from 2.4 to 3.6 seconds, while the last 2 minutes are on the clock. Is there someone else that's improving? Yes, Stefan Petrovic and Michael Byrne, the number 42 Radical, improving their lap times 1:41.552. They're 1.2 seconds behind Rachel Robertson in the number 56 car on 5th position. But there are just a couple of thousandths of a second faster than Robertson, and they have to cover 1.2 seconds. So probably that won't happen during the remaining time of the race, which comes close to 1 minute at the moment. Max van der Snel again has passed Marcus Littlewood. Van der Snel with a lap time of 1:41, Littlewood 1:41.098. So the advantage of Max van der Snel now is more than 7/10 of a second on Littlewood. Lap times of Van der Snel and Forest, okay, almost the same. So the difference of 3.7, 3.8 seconds, and the advantage of Hamish Forest will probably stay. Just looking outside here to see if we have the last lap. Yeah, last lap.
So Hamish Forest wins this with 3.7 seconds ahead of Max van der Snel. Marcus Littlewood fourth, Johan Leander, Marcus Littlewood third, Johan Leander fourth, and Stefan Petrovic and Michael Byrne. Any of those behind the steering wheel, but we do not know which in the T-Class, best and fifth overall. Best SR1 finisher Sascha van Pat in 13th position, beating Miles Ragg in 15th and Eddie van Dam in 16th, with Graham Hoffmans out in that Benelux Cup. That concludes the race here the first race of the day for the Radical SR1 and SR3. Their next race is at noon at 12:05 today, and the Radical SR3s have a third race all at the end of the day at 15:30 at 3:30 p.m.